Again, welcome back to the garage for the project that's going to make you feel like a kid again. What we have here is about a 1950 Parris manufacturing toy pop gun, and it's modeled after the famous Winchester Western repeater. What do you say we take a look at it? Alrighty, so taking you back to the 1950s, a little bit before my time, but you could picture it. You're a kid, you're running around in the yard playing war games with your friends, and this trusty rifle is by your side. This was made by Parris Manufacturing Company in the 1950s, and after World War II, they made toy guns, toy replicas of all the famous pistols and rifles throughout American history. This one is modeled after the Winchester Western repeater. And Parris did their best to make this look as authentic as possible. You have a scope in the front here. It's a little worse for the wear with some rust on it, but we can clean that up. You got your lever action here. Pull it back. And one little pull of the trigger. Nice little pop. There you go. Stock, the wood stock, solid wood stock is in fantastic condition. We'll be able to clean that up a little bit. It used to be a painted black band on the butt stock here. I think we might even try and give this thing a butt plate. We'll see. The faux magazine tube. This is actually a piece of wood here, a little wooden dowel rod. But we're going to clean all this up and get this shining just like new again. Probably do some sort of bluing. I doubt that I'm going to paint it. Probably do some sort of bluing on the metal parts though. But we're going to have to get into this and see what kind of cleanup we're going to need. Now, the cool thing about Parris Manufacturing is they're still around today, and they are still making replica firearms toys for kids today. So having one that's like about 76 years old is pretty awesome. Now I'm going to try not to do a whole lot of talking, just let you enjoy the process of restoring a 3/4 century old toy, bringing it back to life and bringing some childhood memories back to life too. I wonder how many times this poor little rifle was dropped in the mud, in the dirt and outside over all the years. But that's what this channel is all about. Saving history one rusty piece at a time. I'd say this qualifies. Hopefully we can do it some justice. Get her cleaned up again. I think we got some ideas. We might even spruce it up a little bit. Not much there. Just some folded steel. And you got yourself a scope. That's it. There's the mechanism we got to get inside. All right, so the barrel's loose. Looks like we got a little pin here we're gonna have to pry out. That's all there is to it. So fairly simple mechanism. You have a spring inside the tube here. The lever pulls down, catches up top, pulls the spring back, pulls it over top of the catch here, release, and you're ready to go. The trigger pull releases the spring, slides back into battery. Pretty cool. Now, Parris Manufacturing always didn't make toy rifles like this. It all started in World War II. You got millions of young men joining the war effort, and they were short training rifles. So the Army and Navy approached Parris Manufacturing and asked if they could come up with a replica training rifle for our military to use. So there was a 1903 replica, and after World War II, they continued on making the replicas. Even won an award from the military for their help in the war effort. All right, now the lever assembly does not appear to be attached to the barrel, so we're just going to try and figure this out along the way, see if releasing this spring will help. Alright, so over at the workbench, put it in the device and basically just use a screwdriver to pry up the spring, and then a little hammer to push the barrel, slide the barrel off of the frame here. So with the spring up out of the way, the barrel slid off, and now we're just left with a barrel and a spring in it. Now, as far as the spring in the barrel, looking down in here, there is, you guys won't be able to see that. That spring and the way this barrel was put together, it is not meant to be untaken together, taken apart, whatever you want to call it. It's staying the way it is. We're just going to put it into probably some citric acid or evaporust, flush it out, keep flushing it out until it comes out clean. And that's as best as we're going to do for the spring on the inside. The outside we'll be able to clean up real nice. Now, as far as the faux magazine tube, I think there's disassembly of that. And we are good to go to get this into some rust treatment. First, get it on a wire wheel. Alrighty, so we're out of the evapor rust. Got all that surface rust off. We gave it a coat of just some WD-40 so it doesn't flash rust on us while we try and clean up the rest of it. I'm going to force a bunch of this brake clean down inside the tube just to flush out any remaining gunk. You can see it doesn't pour out the front. Oh, it's actually pretty clean. Let's see if we maybe can address some of the other issues on the barrel. Just trying to get that dent out of there a little bit. And just using this concrete drill, which is long enough, fit down the barrel, warm it up a little bit, and hopefully just ease that dent out a little bit. All right, now for the next phase of the project, before we clean up the stock, we are going to see about putting a protective little butt plate on the stock. And all I'm going to do is take this little, I think it's 18 gauge, 22 gauge, little piece of sheet metal, 22 gauge. We're going to trace out a pattern, cut it out, and shape it, polish it up, and secure it to the buttstock, and make a nice little polished butt plate. That's the plan, anyway. All right, time to put a little bit of cold bluing on some of these steel parts. We're going to be using the Brownells Oxbow Blue. Now, there's a lot of different cold bluing solutions out there. I like the Oxbow Blue because it doesn't need to be rinsed off in water when you're done to stop the reaction. Super Blue is great to use. I've used that. The G96 Gun Blue, I've used that. It works well. We'll see what the Brownells Oxbow Blue looks like on the scope. Now each piece of steel will react differently to bluing, so your mileage will vary depending on which solution you use. Now just a light burnishing with some 4/0 steel wool after we wipe it off. And then we'll finish with just letting it sit in some regular old oil overnight. Haven't done this side yet. And just a very light sanding on this side with that 220 grit. Not taking any of the bumps and bruises out. Want to keep as much, that's what we're all about, keeping as much of the character as we can. I just want to smooth out the color a little bit. This wood is so daggone dry. Sanding any harder, there wouldn't be anything left. I mean, absolutely bone dry. So, scraped what little finish, original finish on there was left. And now just cleaning it, basically. Cleaning it up a little bit. Getting it ready for some, I think, walnut stain to finish it off. So, a little bit of light sanding. And lots of character. So, here's something really cool. Sanding away here. And if you could tell, the darker spot here, right on the wrist of the stock, and the darker spot up top here, sanding. That is from whatever little kid was holding this all those years, holding it like this, pulling his trigger. All those years of holding it, discoloring, darkening the wood. That's what you don't want to sand out. That you want to keep if you can. Pretty cool. All right, so we've moved into the spray booth, and we're going to take the wooden rod that's the faux magazine tube on the pop gun, take some gloss black paint, and put a new coat of paint on it. Alrighty, we're about ready to reassemble here. Not a whole lot to do. Receiver goes up in, screws onto the barrel. We got to put the faux magazine tube in, screw on the sight, put the butt plate on, and we are done with a couple of little extra things that I have to put on. Okay, gang, we finally got this old toy pop rifle back together from 1950, and it turned out amazing. We added a few extra special touches to it, so why don't you come on over and take a look at it. All right, so what do you think about that? Pretty amazing for 76-year-old toy rifle. This thing came out absolutely gorgeous. The wood cleaned up and the grain looks amazing. The bluing really came out sharp. We even managed to find a picture of an old Parris Manufacturing label. We reproduced that, and I'll leave a link in the description to all the different things that I used, all the tools and supplies in the shop. And the paper that I used will be a part of that. I did find an old leather rifle sling that we put onto the toy. It did come with one originally, so that you could sling it over your shoulder as you're running around the yard. But this one, a little beefier than what it came with. The bluing, the wood, the painting on the rod up front, everything looks just fantastic. Really happy with how this turned out, and we'll see where it goes from here. And of course, it still works. So really happy about this. Super fun to do. Thanks again for hanging out in the garage with me and watching the restoration of a 76-year-old toy little pop rifle. Again, thanks. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.